Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, David here, and welcome back to another Atlus news video. If you haven't seen the latest Atlus news episode that I dropped on the channel, it was about the release window being announced, or at least being shown to investors through the Sega and Atlus latest financial results meeting. And in the presentation, there was a slide which gave us details about when to expect Persona 4 Revival. And when I saw that, I started speculating on what's going to happen with Persona 6. And anyways, great video, I think. So if you guys want to check that out, it's going to be linked in the video description. But in that presentation that Sega and Atlus gave us, there is some more information, including a lot of sales update. And today I want to focus on my baby. I want to focus on Metaphor ReFantazio. Metaphor is freaking cool. It's good. It's a good game. It's a pretty good game if you didn't know. But the big news is Metaphor sold 2 million copies since launch. It launched in November of last year, or was it October? I don't remember, but under a year ago, and it already sold 2 million. So what does 2 million copies mean? 2 million copies is more copies than every single mainline Shin Megami Tensei game by its own. The best-selling mainline Shin Megami Tensei game is SMT5, which sold like 1.4 million or something. Then with Vengeance, it was topped. It reached 2.1 or something. And you have Metaphor here in under a year doing 2 million. And when you look at Persona, only Persona 5 topped 2 million, which is P5 Royal. I think it's like at 7 or something at this point. It's like, again, their biggest success by far. But just it puts it into perspective that Metaphor did insanely well for Atlus. They wanted it. It did well financially. Clearly, 2 million is a lot, but it did well with the critics as well. It won RPG of the Year last year at the Game Awards. It was nominated for a bunch of categories. So it was recognized by press and media, and that has worth for a company like Atlus. But what does it mean for us fans? What's the future of Metaphor? I do want to go back. I reported on that again in a news episode a few months ago. Director of the game, Hashino, worked on Metaphor. He said that, hey, at this point, I want Metaphor to be bigger than this. I want Metaphor to be played by as many people as possible. Which immediately, to me, that meant, okay, Metaphor's doing great critically. I assume it's doing well financially with what he's saying. So I do think that we're going to see something else for Metaphor. First thing that came to mind, DLC, an expansion of some sort. People don't like that, but I still need to mention it. Some sort of enhanced re-released, a royal version of Metaphor. We have not seen anything yet, right? That's not confirmed. I would love to have more Metaphor. In what form? I do not specifically mind at this point. I think if it's DLC, if it's something consistent and something decent, what I would love to see, I'm not going to spoil anything, and I'm asking you guys to please not spoil anything, but with how Metaphor ends, I'm thinking an epilogue would be freaking awesome to see what happens afterwards in some sort of DLC manner. Or I would just go straight to a sequel. I think some sort of sequel, keeping in mind the idea, the general idea of Metaphor, and make it and make another game, which would probably not be called Metaphor ReFantazio 2. It would be something else, but something along those lines. Man, oh man, for them to expand on that sounds awesome to me. The other thing that I definitely want to mention is Switch 2. In that investors meeting, we have also on that, again, the exact same slide that we saw Persona 4's Revival release window. There was also a message to investors saying, hey, we're planning on bringing some of our games to Switch 2, or we're going to include Nintendo Switch 2 support in the future. So what does that mean for Sega and Atlus and Metaphor specifically? When it comes to Metaphor, I've been saying it even before Metaphor was going to come out. It's going to be a Switch game at some point, or at least it's going to be a Switch 2 game at some point for sure. I'm fully expecting that at this point. When would it release? I mean, if you look at the calendar year that we have right now for Atlus, we have Raito, which just came out, which, ooh, it's really good. Please check it out. And then we have Persona 5 The Phantom X coming out this week, which, again, very excited for that one. I think it looks really awesome. And we have nothing else. Nothing else is confirmed for this year. And I don't think it's going to be a big year. We definitely know that Persona 4 Revival is not coming out this year. So what are we gonna get? A Metaphor ReFantazio Switch 2 port seems very likely to me, and maybe some other very small project or another port of some sort along the lines of what Raito did for the end of the year. That's like best case scenario for game releases of Atlus this year. Again, in my opinion, but Metaphor makes sense. We do have credible rumors as well that we can definitely mention here really quickly, but Necro Felipe is a well-known leaker in the Nintendo community, and he said a few months ago, it's been a long time, that he knows Metaphor ReFantazio is coming to Switch 2, and he has a great track record with like predicting Nintendo Directs, predicting a bunch of third-party games coming out on Nintendo, so seems reliable to me. And again, if you just look at it with a logical sense, it makes a lot of sense. A few days ago, I went on Twitter. Not too sure how reliable that can be, but YouTuber Beat-em-Ups, which is a very popular content creator for Nintendo stuff, from my understanding, he mentioned that there is a Direct coming in July with a bunch of little games that you can see on Reddit, with source quoting him, and Metaphor ReFantazio is part of that list, which I decided not to report on these rumors specifically, and I'm just dropping them here as sources, but even if you don't consider the leaks and rumors, it just makes a ton of sense. The director wants the game on all platforms. The Nintendo audience missed out on Metaphor, which probably started development too early in the Switch's life. Maybe the cost to put that title and make it work on Switch would have been too high versus the potential revenue that they expected from a Switch version. But on Switch 2, system's more powerful. You probably have to do less compromises to put it on there, so it makes a lot of sense. Switch 2 selling insanely well at launch. We've seen mixed results when it comes to the games though, because I think of the game key card thingy, which I don't want to get into that whole discussion. I think it really sucks. I don't think game key cards thing are cool. That's why I bought a physical copy of Raito on Switch 1 and not Switch 2. Bummer. But yeah, that's where I'm at this point. So what do you guys think here for Metaphor selling 2 million copies? I want to congratulate the team. I think that is a fantastic milestone to reach. And I am very much looking forward to what's next for the Metaphor IP, because they cooked with this one. They really did cook. The 3 legendary horsemen at Atlus, they did a fantastic job here with the music, the story, and just the development of the game as a whole. Fantastic project, and I'm just hungry for a lot more at this point. If it releases on Switch 2 at the end of the year, I'm probably gonna replay this bad boy, and I don't have time to do that. So it tells you a lot about how good that game is. So thank you guys for watching this quick update. Again, if you want the details about Revival, check out the link in the video description. Persona 5X coming out this week. I am working on something for P5X, so please look forward to that. Ring that notification bell if you're interested. Have a great day, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.